Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Fortin for Michigan Matters, and today is the 25th of March, and we're recording this right now, but it's coming out right after. We just had issues on our last podcast doing it live. We want to make sure it's okay before we send it out. So anyway, those sound issues, things like that. But anyway, there's a few important things we have to discuss, and we're going to discuss this first thing more in the future because we're going to dig into this thing. In the Michigan House, rep from the 60th Health District, Joseph Aragona, is the sponsor of HB 5529, 30, 31, 81, 82, 83, 84, and 85. I think that he's sponsor on all of them. I'll have to verify that, but at least 5 or 6 he is. These things are pushed by the Builders Association of Michigan, HBA. In fact, he's doing an event with them this coming Friday somewhere. So he's being financed by these people. And this is what amazes me about things. Like, I think it's in the U.S. Senate, Senator Kennedy is putting forth a bill that these guys won't get paid in Washington until the SAVE Act is passed. Now, that is all theater. I like Mr. Kennedy. I really do. He's a good senator. But it's theater because guess what? They make 10 times more from the associations of the world and the PACs, dark money, and everything else, and illegal money. They make more money from that than their wages could ever be. So they're not going to be hurt by that at all. But getting back to Michigan, because this all plays in, we've read some of these bills. I'm going to study these bills, and we're going to make a report on these things. These bills make it much easier for the builders and everything to do whatever they damn well please anywhere in Michigan. Housing is small as 500 square feet, almost anywhere, without restriction. I mean, this kind of thing. It's all designed in the phony, he will give you absolute bull that it makes housing more affordable. Yeah. They'll do that for a few years, and then the 500 square foot home will be $100,000 or $200,000, and then regular homes will be even higher. They're doing nothing in Lansing to make homes more affordable. We have the highest taxes, I shouldn't say the highest, but we have much higher budget, let's say, than Georgia. It's a bigger state than us. Michigan wastes money. We need to be doged big time. Michigan wastes money. We got to get rid of property. Do you want to make property more affordable in Michigan? Have young couples be able to get their starter home easier? Get rid of property tax. And in so doing, no property tax, guess what? Businesses will come to Michigan. We have a governor candidate that's advocating for no income tax. Well, I'm all for that idea. After all, it was a Republican governor, one of our guys, Romney, that started that years ago. But that's not the one that's killing everybody. That's not the one. You have to make an income to pay the income tax, right? You have to have a job and pay the income to pay it. Earn the income to pay it. But property is something else. In Southeast Michigan, I believe the Tri-County area, Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, we are paying for an art museum in Detroit on our property. Property tax is paid no matter if you have an ability to pay it or not. And you can lose your property over it over time. Why are we paying that? Why are we paying for the bus system that nobody rides in these 3 counties on property taxes? Property tax has to go in the state of Michigan. If so, we will get more jobs because companies will come back to Michigan. We won't have to cut them deals like so many municipalities do to get the businesses. That kind of thing has to be undone. And Mr. Aragona is a Republican. Okay? I'm sorry, no Republican that believes in the Constitution or limited government is going to support garbage like this. And we are going to dig into it, and we're going to report on it in the future. But that was not going to be my discovery of him being supported by the Home Builders Association of Michigan is what sparked my interest in doing it in this video. But more importantly, in the near term, is in a few days, we are going to have the MIGOP convention. And I think that's in Novi. And we're having that convention. And in that convention, there's some things going to be decided by delegates. Among them is the Republican nominee for Attorney General and the Republican nominee for Secretary of State. And here is where, I've been involved with this for a long time, watching our state circle the drain for a long time. Many of us have families working all over America because our kids and grandkids can't work here. So here we have these very important races, and what happens, the losers, who in this case are the establishment crowd, the losers come out with a big slander campaign against the Attorney General candidate who's way ahead. They're slandering him in ways like, oh, he won't come to take part in events. Well, he took part in 18 across the state in recent months, naturally. The last couple of months, he's been doing a lot of his own thing. But he has been on the stage, shall we say, with his competition, the establishment, Mr. Lloyd. He has been on there 18 times. He's not afraid to debate. Now, but what's worse than that, we have one person on social media calling him a criminal because Mr. Lloyd and his minions have released some old documents of an issue 6 years ago. It was proven by the Attorney General of Wayne County, I believe, that it was all false accusations. It never went anywhere. But naturally, it's paperwork. It had to be filed. And the Lloyd campaign dug that up, and they're running around slandering this man and destroying him. Now, I looked up the definition of slander: to defame, to injure by malicious uttering false reports respecting a person, to tarnish or impair their reputation by false tales maliciously told and propagated. So all over social media the last week, and I'm sure it'll be all this week, they're trying to take the guy who's the far leader. To our knowledge, he's won every straw poll, hands down. And they're taking a strong leader who is not an establishment guy. So let's talk about the establishment guy. So here we have, running for Secretary of State, Mr. Forlini, a lifetime Republican candidate for this, that, these, and those. And I don't know about the total history of Mr. Lloyd, but he's been a prosecutor for multiple terms and so on. And that's his claim to fame, saying he can beat the Democrat. His competition, he won't say this personally, but his minions do, who all happen to be establishment people. Some people I really had respect for, even though we're rarely on the same side, but I'll respect them no more. And I might, in a future video, start naming them. We actually put on the screen the stuff going out there after this convention is over. But let's take a quick look at Mr. Lloyd's record. Looking at an existing real record is not slander. Do you people remember Larry Nassar? Do you remember a guy named, a friend of his, what's his name here? He killed himself in the middle of all of it. Anyway, Mr. Nassar is a doctor, and he and this guy, I think his name is Goddard or something like that, they were molesting young girls. They were coaching, I think it was Olympic stuff. And they were molesting young girls for a period of 6 years. Early on, the evidence was given to the local prosecutor, who chose to sit on his hands while more and more girls were being molested. Finally, Dana Nessel charged the guy and charged him with 24 counts of something or other. But before he could be brought to trial, he committed suicide. Now, that's a real record, okay? There's other things, too, okay? He refused to fight sanctuary cities, Detroit News, 2006. Stiffed a contractor $400K on a $1 million vacation home, Lansing State Journal, 2023. Got an employee fired for criticism, Lansing State Journal, 2015. Pushed millions in new taxes on families, WLNS 2024-25. Actively campaigned for public safety millage that would have raised millions more in property taxes on Eaton County families. In public videos and statements, warned that without the tax hike, police, prosecutors, and courts would have to cut services and couldn't keep communities safe. Voters rejected it twice. This is not a hero. This is an establishment man, okay? What they want is Mr. Ferlini, who is a denier of the 2020 election debacle. We all know now that we had a president that was never elected named Joe Biden. But right after that election, I was the Macomb County chairman for the last 6 years, ending a year ago. And my vice chairman, we were very friendly with Mr. Ferlini. He's a very friendly, amiable guy. And we knew him, and my vice chair knew him well. And we encouraged him over and over again that there's something wrong here. She attended the at the time it was called the TCF Center, where all this, the heart of all this stuff went on. We thought at the time, now we know it's statewide. But anyway, really encouraged him to ask for an audit, to come out publicly, being the clerk of the third largest county and the largest conservative county, to come out and ask publicly the state legislature, governor, whoever, that it was important to have an audit of this election. He would not do it. We had a meeting with Mr. Kobeck, the two of us, Mr. Kobeck, and a young lady named Jackie Eubanks, in which she gave him information because she went door to door talking to voters and discovered in one day 2 or 3 individuals who had not voted and swore they did not vote. And yet it was documented that they voted absentee. Well, that was not enough information for him, sent her out to do more. And a couple of days later, the state police is banging on her door, questioning her about voter intimidation. So nothing ever went anywhere. So finally, we're pushing for audit in Macomb County, because we know it's not good either. But anyway, or we highly suspected that. That's what I should say. And so he finally did it. My vice chair at the time encouraged him to get Mr. Ben Cotton, who Ben Cotton is the CEO of, where do I have it here? Ben Cotton is the CEO of Cipher, a digital forensic firm that provides on-demand enterprise-wide forensics. Mr. Cotton is widely recognized across the country, and Mr. Ferlini did ask him to participate, although he was kept away from it just as an observer, but he hired Pro V&V to do the actual audits. Pro V&V is like bringing the fox into the hen house, because it's all their systems, their everything. So they're not going to audit properly. Now, we put out in a special email an affidavit that Mr. Ben Cotton filled out, that he wrote, I should say, on 25 January 2022 concerning the so-called audit. And we will eventually get this up on our website where people can read it. It's in our newsletter, and that goes out every week to a couple thousand people. And we have it on that. But Mr. Cotton showed clearly that the audit was not an audit by any real definition of forensic audit. So Mr. Ferlini was not interested in elections until he decided to run for Secretary of State. And all of a sudden, in a big-time news conference with past Secretary of States involved, or at least one, in the news conference, he comes out and he discovered a handful of people going through jury lists, I believe, that were illegal aliens, or I shouldn't say illegal aliens, were not citizens. Let's put it that way. And you have to be a citizen, even if you are a legal alien, a legal immigrant, shall we say. You can't serve on a jury. And he found a handful and made a big to-do out of it all. He didn't go back to 2024, though, because we got real questions about the 2024 election. But Mr. Ferlini, who still believes in machines, who is on the board of the current Secretary of State, on her board for a number of years now, has never criticized her for breaking the law, getting rid of voting records, has never come out publicly in Macomb County encouraging clerks to disobey that order from the Secretary of State because it violated law. Never said a word about it. Has never said a word about the changing of voter ID numbers or voter history. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to the delegates and the grassroots delegates. Are you going to believe slander? perpetrated by the establishment to keep their people in power so Michigan never changes, our uniparty Michigan stays solid. We have to change Michigan, ladies and gentlemen. We have an attorney general candidate, Kevin Kieski, who has stepped outside of the box and really went after things and was very successful. He's a man who will look at the situation, whatever it may be, if it's a voter fraud thing, and he will attempt to do something about it. Will that make him successful at it? We have no idea, but he'll try. I personally spoke with Mr. Lloyd a week ago Monday. I was at an event, and he was there, and we sat and we talked. And I asked him what he would do about this Secretary of State and all this sort of thing. All he said was, if somebody presents me with a case, I'll do it. Well, wait a minute. Well, if you're presented with a case, do you just take it? Don't you investigate it? If you have a real suspicion, it is very open what this Secretary of State has done. If you have a suspicion, you can't investigate it yourself. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little frustrated because the grassroots is so easily divided. Many of the grassroots are Christian, and all you have to do is throw some slander around there, and everybody gets shocked and terrified, and they don't want to do anything. I believe that the grassroots is smarter than all this slander game, and they've slandered Monica Utoma too. Another one that's way ahead in Secretary of State, a businesswoman who knows what she's doing. She has a very successful business, and she wants to make changes to really make our elections safe again. Mr. Ferlini talks about transparency. Well, what transparency? You can go to them, maybe this has changed since yesterday, but you can go to the Macomb County Clerk website, and you can look under elections, and you can find precinct delegates. Click on it and open it up. And there's all the precinct delegates, Republican and Democrat, in Macomb County, Michigan. And you will notice, though, that there's addresses, but the phone numbers are gone and the emails are gone. I complained about that some time ago before he ever decided to run. And he said he was protecting the identity of the delegates. No, wait a minute. The delegate is an elected position. You are elected by the Republican voters in your precinct an even number of years to represent them at the county convention, a county convention at which you may be elevated to go, or elected, I should say, to go to a state convention to represent them there. So, what if I'm in a certain township and precinct, city or precinct, I should say, too, and this convention means something to me, and I want to call my delegate to ask who they're going to vote for? Can't do it. I've been a precinct delegate since 1986, except for a period of about 10 years, starting in 2000. My name and number and address has always been on the county website, along with everyone else's. Not there anymore. I'm a delegate currently also, but I'm not there anymore. None of us are. So anybody and it's interesting how Mr. Forlini is running for Secretary of State. Anyone that may be opposing him can't get a hold of their delegate. I'm not saying many people would, but I don't know how many people would. People have a right to know who represents them at every level of government. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope and pray that somehow our Republican Party can get cleaned up and stop all this endless slander thing. The names have changed, but it's been going on forever. If the establishment's losing, they will slander. And that's all there is to it. Someone else was slandered too. I think the other Secretary of State candidate was slandered too. But anyway, I thank you for being with us today. Please go to michiganmatters.org, our website. Please like this and share it. We need to get out to more people because we have a lot of issues like this housing thing, the copper mine up north, St. Clair County. The Green New Deal is dead, ladies and gentlemen. We know it don't work, but St. Clair County, they're trying to buy up 1,100 acres of prime farmland for solar panel farm. Solar panels don't work. Everybody knows it now. Trump has broadcasted it. The Green New Deal is done, but not Socialist Michigan. Socialist Michigan is still pushing the Green New Deal, and our electric is going up. Gee, might be another reason why companies don't come to Michigan. We're paying out the keister for doggone electric when it should be cheap as heck. We got to reopen these the coal furnaces that have been providing us with reliable electricity for years. Anyway, I'm sorry. Thank you for being with us, and I hope to see you soon. And please share and comment if you can. Donate at our website to help keep us going. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye.